Anyone can undervalue someone who is unassuming, reserved, humble, and uninvolved. However, after learning about the INFJ personality type, people would see that not all laid-back personas are without merit. Here are 10 explanations for why a Sigma INFJ is smarter than most people believe. Number 10, they welcome criticism. One Sigma never will an INFJ voice dissatisfaction over obtaining critical or helpful advice from experts. Being scolded by their superiors won't bother them. They are willing to accept the strain if it will help them hone their abilities. If the insult was not meant to manipulate or deceive them, they would be appreciative. They are often the last to feel assaulted or irritated by comments or circumstances that contradict their preconceived notions, because they can hone their character as a result of such experiences, expand their horizons, and learn more. Thus, the common misconception regarding the Sigma INFJ's arrogance is false. They are more sage than anyone anticipated. People that identify as Sigma INFJs are open-minded and never pass up a chance to learn, even if it means putting their pride on the line. They would rather come off as foolish now than remain uninformed forever. Number 9, they don't fear change. People who challenge the pre-existing views of Sigma INFJs don't make them feel threatened or humiliated, because beliefs are created with the intention of being improved upon. They don't understand why some individuals react dismissively when someone corrects them. Education should be timely. They don't intend to force their values on others. They just don't like useless systems, that's all, and unjust laws that afflict the majority while benefiting a few number. They also hate the conventional resistance to change techniques, despite their diminishing efficiency. As a result, they use their abilities to abolish despite objections from others, can alter them for the better. Sigma INFJs aren't frightened of change and think it should apply to the deteriorating standards of society as well. How much will you alter in order to grow as a Sigma INFJ? Number 8, they look for new information. When you discuss your grasp of particular theories with a Sigma INFJ, either they will listen intently or they will excitedly ask questions. The issue is that they are unable to predict what would be useful or useless. To fully enjoy their human existence, they must attempt new things and communicate with us more effectively. Additionally, because Sigma INFJs have a propensity for remembering what they learn, attempting new things, and learning from other people's experiences, they accidentally pick up more information than they anticipated. They also unconsciously surpass people who persistently underrate their capacity for growth. In order to evolve their mindset, they automatically seek out new perspectives and incorporate them with the rest of their current ideas. This is how Sigma INFJs gradually surpass the majority of persons their mental age and intelligence. Number 7, they are endlessly curious about whatever they can think of. Are you aware of why Sigma INFJ reads so much? People do so in order to satiate their interest about various topics. From philosophical and psychological viewpoints, Sigma INFJs have a never-ending thirst to learn more. The MBTI personality type with the highest intelligence did not accumulate their extensive knowledge bank overnight. They have made the most of their potential. Thus, they won't ever have to act foolish in front of others or on social media, because they put so much effort into watching educational films and doing research. They would be gratefully corrected as new facts came to light and would update their prior understanding on particular topics. They equally document and retain their sources so they may access them whenever they need to, especially when a fresh notion conflicts with what they already believe. Do you keep a list of the fascinating things you learn online as an INFJ Sigma? Number 6, they are more reasoned than most people. Regardless of how much people underrate the IQ of the Sigma INFJ, they can't help but observe how they interpret the reality of the outside world. Sigma INFJ are more intelligent and rational since they do not view the world through rose-colored glasses. while everyone else views the world via lenses such as subjectivity, poor logic, and internal biases. Sigma INFJs have a purely objective viewpoint. They believe they are in charge of removing any and all influences that can cloud their judgment and affect how they perceive reality. This is the reason they feel forced to consider, think on, and assess their own motivations to make sure they aren't carrying any preconceived notions about specific individuals. So it comes as no surprise that they are more logical and insightful than other individuals. Number 5, they speak out a lot. Sigma INFJs are less expressive than other personality types. Nevertheless, any issue that affects them must be voiced, they feel. When required, they raise their voices, in particular about pressing matters. If it weren't for things worth fighting for, INFJs would be content to keep quiet. They would make things clear in this way rather than assuming things without checking. They provide people the opportunity to clarify their intentions and provide supporting evidence. This is also a method for them to humble themselves and accept that they still don't know much about the subject. They cannot tolerate their own stupidity. To increase their confidence and self-assurance, they ask a lot of questions. They may also receive additional advantage, heightened intelligence, but if you were an INFJ Sigma, would you still inquire even if it irritated others? Number 4, before speaking, they assess the situation. Discussions and academic dialogues frequently highlight the intelligence of the Sigma INFJ, unlike haughty specialists who pretend to be the best. Before expressing their views, Sigma INFJs tend to listen to everyone else's viewpoints. They consider the surrounding circumstances and the big picture before forming assumptions. In the same way, they would carefully think about their thoughts before deciding whether or not to communicate them. If they aren't sure about what they're saying, they won't speak until they've clarified or made them easier for others to understand. With all of these initiatives to deliver the appropriate message, it is evident that Sigma INFJs know more than most people believe. Compared to people who speak their first thoughts, they are more able to make deliberative decisions. Number 3, they put their mental health first. Anyone who knows when to stop engaging in pointless debate and conclude a conversation is more mature than most people believe. Of course, this individual is the Sigma INFJ. Rather than risk lowering themselves, they would leave the conversation instead. They would prefer focus on something else than argue with someone else's flawed reasoning. The Sigma INFJs are the last to label someone as foolish. As soon as they understood that someone is unable to understand analogies, they will abruptly stop listening to the conversation and permit the other person to believe whatever they wish. Most people didn't anticipate a Sigma INFJ to have this amount of insight. They have long undervalued the emotional intelligence of the Sigma INFJ, mistaking them for cowards when they leave tense debates. Is it truly simple for a Sigma INFJ to leave discussions unfinished? Number 2, they have more opportunities than others to use their reasoning. Considering the amount of criticism and hostility Sigma INFJs encounter due to their unorthodox worldviews, their defense mechanisms are constantly on high alert. In their daily lives, Sigma INFJs are constantly misunderstood and questioned. They are therefore compelled to defend their views against those who attack them. They are frequently compelled to defend their absurd ideas, established practices, and unpopular perspectives against individuals who gang up on them during talks. Therefore, whenever they engage with other personality types, their logical reasoning is continuously put to the test, especially those whose beliefs conflict with their own. Indeed, they have become more intelligent and comprehensible as a result of their separation, because they are forced to interact with and adjust to those who think differently than they do. Number 1, they spend money on mental health. Everyone underestimates the intelligence of Sigma INFJs, because they make investments in their mental health. Sigma INFJs don't go to nightclubs or socialize with random people in their free time. They'd like to remain in and unwind at home while sipping tea and cuddling with a pet, viewing a favorite movie, or practicing meditation. INFJs that are Sigmas experience a lot during the work week. They agree to spend lunch breaks with a select coworkers because they find that extroverts drain their energy. Most people might think these insignificant occurrences are important, but inconsequential to INFJs. People must take advantage of their free time by treating themselves and taking care of their mental health. They rise at 5 in the morning to meditate and do yoga, even on their days off. Because of this, individuals are able to think clearly and perform at their best when working. What other habits do you have as a Sigma INFJ that help you take care of your mind? Because of their laid-back demeanor, Sigma INFJs were the least anticipated. But the humblest are always the wisest. Are you aware of how people undervalue your brilliance as a Sigma INFJ? Do you find this annoying in any way?